Woo! Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today it is 4/20/2022, and we have about 10 minutes until opening bell. So, over the past, yesterday I was looking at ways I could configure my hotkey setup. And the biggest problem with my hotkey setup is that I can't tell the difference between just different hotkeys I have. I have a total of, I believe, 6 hotkeys. So I have one that cancels all orders. I have another that buys at market. I have another that buys at the, buys, okay, let me actually check. So I have one that buys at the bid. I have another that buys at the market. I have another that sells at the ask. I have another that sells at the bid if I want immediate sale. And I have another one that sells at the market if I want a super immediate sale. So yeah, yesterday I was trying throughout the whole day to come up with some sort of color combination along with moving my stuff to my new house. And I went to the shop and I got these, but unfortunately, these things are super thin. So when I put them on, they just I barely can see the color when it comes to putting it on the keyboard. So I need actual stickers. These are just sticky notes. So that's a bummer. Like super thin sticky notes. I was expecting a lot more, but nope. Today looks like it's going to be a great day. Yesterday, the whole market moved by 1.5 to like 2%. And the reason for it is, I actually don't know what the reason is. But it was a great day, so I expect for today to potentially be a pullback. So that's kind of cool to know about that. So I'm just looking at stocks this morning. I have not picked out my list, which it should have been ready by 6:20. Woke up a little bit late today, so fortunately that's how it is. I didn't go to the gym this morning. I haven't been lately because I've been really, because I'm moving, and I get, like, immediately after I do trading, I move my stuff, and I get tired really quickly, so I can't really do both. It's either one or the other for now, so that's where I'm at. I don't know if anyone can see this, but right here, that's a little color code, and then I'm going to put it all on the keyboard. So that's what I'm working on, because I always got confused by that stupid thing. Always. So today, my objective is to try and trade the least amount possible. And today, when I do that, my objective is to, instead of getting in and getting out, my objective is to just buy on the first or second pullback within the first 5 minutes and just straight up hold on to it. That's my objective. Because all these stocks like to run literally within the first 15 to 30 minutes, and sometimes up to the first hour. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to see where those consolidation ranges are, just hold while it's there, and just accept it. Always set up a stop loss. Always set up a mental stop loss. At least a mental stop loss. So that way you can always see, hey, where is it potentially going to go? Because we don't know how the market will react to virtually anything. So you've always got to be prepared, because the market is truly So, yeah, these stickers are already coming off. These little sticky notes. So that's a bummer. Guess I'm just gonna take them off. That one went in between my keyboard. That's not good. I don't know how I'm gonna get those things out. It's my second time doing that. Alright. That's off now. Please. Thank you. Didn't do anything. Okay. So, yeah, that's my objective. Because I'm totally over trading. Like 1,000%. So I really can't do that. That's a huge no-no when it comes to trading. The least amount of trades, the better. But you can only really do that if you're experienced, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to just do that. So I guess these three will be on my watch list today. Oopsies, not iMag. I have no idea what iMag is. iMab. So I'm mainly going to be looking at IO. IO looks really beautiful. You know, gapped up, shot down for the first pullback, gradually going back up. Whoa! Okay. Yeah, but I like these type of stocks, regardless of what just happened right here. So that was a 365. Did I see anything at 365? Nothing. I'm gonna have to look back on the recording and see if I saw anything on the level 2 data. I don't think I ever did. But then again, I didn't really glance at it. Alright, so that's my objective. Just kind of really just hold my emotions together and just hold on, you know? This is going to be a roller coaster of emotions today, and it's going to be honestly pretty stressful. So, it's what we're going to do today. It's what we're going to do today. So I got a salad this morning. Yeah, Taco Bell salad. A little powerful, but hey, you know, it's a quick breakfast, which is what I'm aiming for. And this is leftovers, so why not? I always love the Powerballs. Definitely my go-to thing when I go to Taco Bell. Of course, if they have their chili cheese burrito, if they brought that back, I would go nuts over that. Like, that thing was just amazing. Same thing with the Mexican pizza, despite how tremendously overpriced it was. It's kind of like my favorite go-to. Alright, so check the coffee real quick. 30 seconds left on the clock. Whoa! 53,000 shares. A little bit of a bigger boy there. So let me get prepped for this. So this is about 75, so. So 3,300 shares, so which is 2,000. Alright, here it is. let's see what magic is done today. So we gotta keep in mind all these resistance and support lines right here. It's gonna play a very vital role in my sort of new trading strategy. So this is already up 105% on the day. Like, it's massive, so it could just have a huge pullback day. But I'm going to, I'm just going to sit here and just watch it. It's going to be definitely a learning day. Again, I'm in the simulator because I'm still trying to learn, right? So I'm not really liking this too much. IonQ, it didn't even want to shoot up, it just immediately pulled back, so that's kind of bearish. Usually things will shoot up, then shoot back, so we'll see where this candlestick goes. Usually I said I'd buy on the first pullback, but this was kind of like a pullback and beyond, if that makes sense. In other words, it never went further back. So I'm still confused on my hotkeys. I see ALVR like shooting up, so I'm going to wait until the end of the minute for this. If nothing happens, I'm going to check them out. Once these guys go up to potentially 32%, I may just go over there. Because I really don't know where Ion is going. Oh, 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 oh. Alright. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Here we go. We are just going to buy the market, and now we're just going to hold. We are literally just going to hold. So let's go to the resistance point of 86.17. Remember, we're buying and holding, so if we got a large loss today, you know, that's expected, and that's what we're gonna. That's what the simulator is for. So to perfect your strategies, I just really don't like this last green candle. Whoever pumped this up, like, what? Look at the candles here. Look at the candles here. I just noticed that. I'm actually not liking this. I'm not liking this. I mean, the stock looked great other than these wicks, man. Those wicks are crazy. But I'm actually not too sure what to do about these wicks. They scare me. These wicks are... I really don't know what to think about them. I really don't know what to think about them. So biggest loss I'm willing to accept is 250. 250 bucks. Actually 200. I do want to keep my account above that 25,000 mark. So it's gonna be great practice. So again, let's. So what my technique is that I'm gonna be trading based off the time of the day, as well as technical and fundamental analysis. So fundamental wise, it came out with a new allogenic treatment. It's a post-allogenic, it's some sort of post-allogenic treatment. I've never been really good with pharmaceutical stocks. I've always struggled with them. I'm actually going to set, I'm going to sell right here at 86. Let me sell it. It's not really great time to 655. I don't like doing that because, see, look at that. People, market makers can see that I have an order right here at 2,000. Of course, they can't see it right now because I'm obviously trading in simulator and it's not considered real money. But if I were trading live, I'd be able to see this 2,000 shares. Volume's looking pretty good. Volume's never really a concern. This thing's just following the 9MA. Again, it pulled back. I didn't like that usually. Oh, excuse me. Usually things will gap up and pull back. But yeah, if I were to be trading in an actual live trading, then I would not set this. Okay, narrow right here. Narrow, that count should be a... Remember, Josh, you're holding. You're holding. It's just going to pull back on the 9MA, maybe go past it a little bit, and hopefully come back. So, my whole objective is to learn how to hold. Learn how to hold. I need to turn on my clock. Okay, that's great. They never pulled back further than the 9MA. That's awesome. I'm negative now. Pulling back, pulling back, pulling back. Went to the VWAP. Not really a good sign. 2, 3, 4. Instantly pulled back. That's good. Let's see you come back up. If today if I'm red, I mean, it's all a part of trading. This thing's kind of overextended already. It's literally up 100% on the day. So it's kind of already expected for it to flip-flop around. So it's not looking the best, unfortunately. If it falls below that, let me just accept this as a loss. Because it fell below all the technical indicators, so it's not really anything that I want to hop on. I'm just going to accept this as a loss. I'll probably end up hopping on ALVR. It seems like it doesn't want to go further than this. It seems like it's going to pull back immediately. How many shares am I still? I'm still 2,000 shares. You shouldn't be like that. I did not mean to click that. I guess I double clicked. Okay, so ALVR, they're going up to that second resistance point. $7, 25,000. Two. Well, past. Okay, so now it formed a new high. I don't like doing this. The RSI says it's overextended. I don't like chasing. I don't like chasing. I don't like chasing. But if I were to chase it, it would probably end up going to about 856. And look at that, it got halted. Where's lull D? Where is lull D? That's something I hate about. That's something I really, really, really hate about this thing. They don't show what the heck the level 2 is. Like, for example, for you to see a halt, it will be called the LULD. That's going to be the section it's from, is lulled. And I'm not too sure what that section actually represents. Yeah, this thing just pulled back immediately. So that kind of sucks. I was expecting for it to run to maybe at least 645 or something. Then or to pull back. So $67 loss, not too bad. So again, I do not want to go below 150, 153. That's a big no-no if I do. ALVR is up 44%. It's probably going to get halted, maybe pull back and then go back up. So this is going to be a really hot stock for the day. I mean, look at the volume. It's literally 10 million just opening. According to my trade ideas, it is about 44% up on the day, and it is 16.9 million volume, and it will resume exactly at either 6:44 in 19 seconds or 6:49 in 19 seconds. So we're just going to wait for that. Ion Q, I was really expecting them, Ion, what's it, Ion Q, really expecting for them to just, run for virtually the first 15 minutes. Usually the psychological time period is between like 5-minute increments, because that's what everyone trades off of. It's a 5-minute candle. Not that many traders trade off the 1-minute candle, so those opening candles are huge in terms of the roll of how the stock is played out. So while it's halted, quickly check up on the news, a fundamental catalyst. So nothing on this. So FDA grants RMAT status for allogenic treatment. It literally does not go into any sort of detail. And the quarterly earnings are completely awful. Net income negative. Oh, it opened up. Net income negative 1,044%. I'm sorry, 14,000%. Look at that. Instantly shot back up. So we're hopping on. So I did buy pretty high, no doubt about it. I bought at market, not really the best, and this is truly overextended, so it's going to pull back on the 9 MA sharply. Yeah, I bought him way too high there. and now my account is below the 25,000 limit, so I've already broken my own rule. So this is going to be the consolidation range right here. It may need the selling pressure for it to launch back up again, but RSI says it's way too high up, so we're going to take it as it is. Seems like everything pulled back on first 15 minutes virtually. Let me see how. Pulled up, immediately pulled back, so that's going to the market trend. Looks like DJI is trying to reverse. So, and this is why I really wish I had my hotkeys in order, because then I could get in, get out real quick on trades like this. In terms of money, like being gained and being lost, I'm not really focused on it today. It's just straight up, is my strategy working? Is it not working? You know, is it consistent? And if it's consistent, what's the profit loss ratio? And you know, what's I gotta plan in a time to where I get in and get out. This was an awful trade, because obviously I bought in after it halted, you know, after the halt resumed, and after that time period, it's like, oof, you don't know where that thing's gonna go. So this thing tried pulling back. Seems like it didn't want to go lower. We don't know. Big war going on right here, so if this thing goes past the second candlestick, which it just did, I'll hop on. Again, I bought at market. Not what I'm supposed to do. Not what I'm supposed to do. So if I want immediate sell, just sell the bid. Immediate fill. So I'm hoping this next candle won't be like a little false breakout. So I'm hoping to at least try and chase that 813 high. It doesn't look like it wants to. I mean, barely looks like it wants to. Like, really, like, ever so slightly. I am revenge trading. Not the very idealistic thing to do. And when things are overextended, kind of like this, you really want to, when things are kind of overextended like this, you really want to, what am I trying to say? You really want to watch your P's and Q's. You really want to watch everything. See, this is just like, wow. Doesn't want to go, wow. Yeah, let's see. Well, 5 minutes at least looking a little bit decent. Seems like momentum was kind of just shut off within the first 15 minutes with virtually every stock. So today is kind of a sketchy day, sketchy morning. That was a major pullback. Whoa. Doesn't have volume though. So earnings came out. Definitely pulled back. Doesn't look like it wants to go lower, so just have to hop on. So today, my strategy, honestly, I should be done with trading now. I'm totally revenge trading, totally not doing the thing that I'm supposed to do. Because then this happens. So I'm down about 400 bucks on the day, 500 bucks on the day. You know, pretty risky stuff. These guys are really trying to open up green. Fortunately, well, they're going higher, so that's pretty good. If I want immediate sell, back to sell bid. So that could be the pressure that they needed to launch back up. So it's trying to pass this little resistance point past it. So it's a little bit overextended right now. I'm going to sell right here. So it's overextended right there. Buy back on that pullback. I will see where this thing goes. This was a great buy signal. That hammerhead. It was a gradual arch. Gradual arch. You know, just like how you have arches when it comes to the upwards, you've got it. Same thing when it comes to negative trends. Except that. I never obeyed my rule right there, so that's not good. RSI is not saying that it's overextended either. And look at the volume. The volume was super low right here, so that was kind of a pretty bullish signal. So this is going to pull back either on the 9 MA or the 20 MA right here, or maybe even the VWAP as a third level. So watch carefully. Once it pulls back, it'll pull up. Once it reverses, then it'll go up. But you gotta be really careful right here because now it's starting to arch out. It's starting to arch out. and it's probably going to end up dropping. Either it'll go right here, or a little bit lower, or it'll immediately drop. You know, similar to previous candlesticks. It dropped virtually immediately. So today is not the day that I was looking for. So over the past week, there's been some stocks that would run for 5 minutes, some stocks that would run for 15 minutes, some that would run for 35 minutes or 30 minutes, some that would run for 45 minutes, some that would run for an hour, and then all of it just stops. So trading based off the time of day is a huge factor, and the only way you can really determine what's going to happen is through the consolidation as well as staring at the level 2 data to potentially predict, hey, you know, you got a huge seller at, let's say 758, you know, or a huge buyer at 758, that means it's going to pull back. When it comes to stocks, the buyer is actually an incentive for negative, for it to go negative. So a big buyer usually means an actual reverse trend. So, and a big seller represents a reverse trend of a sell-off period. So again, see how it's arching out? The lows are getting lower, and the highs aren't getting higher anymore. But it never went lower than that 9 MA, so it could be a great buying opportunity. You just really want to make sure it goes above 996 and doesn't go below 770. So you'd have to keep a mental stop loss of 770 and just keep it there. Again, I am revenge trading, so I should honestly just quit. I want to try and get myself up probably 30 bucks and then I'll call it quits on the day. My new trading technique just involves following volume, the VWAP, 9 MA, resistance and support lines, as well as fundamental analysis, which such as news. That's pretty much what I use. Oh, and the RSI. Can't forget about the RSI. So yeah, so pull back. Didn't want to go lower. Great sign. This thing's gonna rip up, I imagine. If it did, it actually would have potentially already. So it's got a lot of buying pressure. The lows are getting a little bit higher now. They're gradually going up. So you'd think that's a bullish sign, but it's not. So you always gotta watch out for that. You always have to look at the big perspective. And that's pretty much the trend of the 5 minute. So focus on that. So this is a time where you buy right here at the 755 because it'll immediately gap up. And then you'd probably end up selling once you hit the 9 MA. I tried to. And it's probably going to try and hit it. But there doesn't look like there's a lot of buying pressure to do it. Volume got a lot lower here. And again, that lack in volume represents a reverse trend. So, and that's also another indicator. I don't know if I mentioned volume. I think I did. The lack of volume represents a reverse trend. So, that selling pressure could have been what it needed to. Yep. Look at that. Yep. 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 That selling pressure is what it needed to launch up, man. And now it's gone up pretty high. So now we may try and test 842. A lot of buyers right now, so that's a very big potential. very, very, and it looks like it really wants to. Really wants to. If I'm not chasing. When you buy and stuff like this, and it doesn't go your way, you can, well, that one little move can screw up your whole day. And that's what these guys are doing. Or they either are holding on and just selling half, or buying half and then buying another half, or whatever their technique is. So, again, you buying on those pullbacks, man, especially when it's as thick of a candle as this, like this, it's a great buying opportunity. You need that selling pressure to get that buying pressure, especially when it's so sharp. And let's check out IonQ. I'm going to check that out. Or I keep on calling IonQ. So IO just immediately tanked. It just immediately tanked. See, I'm not going to go fully into it because I don't want to. They immediately just reversed right there, and that was it. This thing, that was it. They're done. So that's that. Something I wish Thinkorswim did was save your configuration of where the heck your layout is, and just reset it at the end of the day. So I don't have to keep on going back and readjusting it. I hate that. It takes up too many seconds of time. So formed a little pennant flag. Highs got a little bit overextended up here. Lows are staying the same, didn't fall lower. Again, we had the consolidation. Pre-market, it flattened out. That was a really bullish sign right here. You never want to go lower than this mark. Never want to go lower than 630. That was your biggest bullish sentiment right there. So that was like a sign, just hold on from the beginning. But same with Ion, man. It was the same exact way. So again, I just want that $30. I just want to get back up, just so I can technically trade the next day. And if tomorrow I go lower than 25,000, then so be it. If I go lower than 25,000, I'm not going to use the PDT, the supposed PDT against me. I will keep on day trading. I know it's technically illegal, but probably maybe within a week or two, after I keep back testing this strategy and I keep on learning to hold, then I'll see what happens. Then I'll see what happens. So Ion went down basically 30% since I bought in, and ALVR went up about 40%. No, about actually 35 or 30% since I was looking at it. And it's definitely the hottest stock of the day is IO and ALVR. So that's why everyone's after. And the short float of ALVR is 15%, which is actually pretty huge, especially looking at it from this perspective. So it could actually be a short squeeze. Short float is 12%. The float is 25 million. Wow. This could actually run for quite a bit. How far it goes, no one knows. No one knows. So buying in now, as sketchy as it would be, don't know where that top is, man. Don't know where that top is. And I think for sure it's a short squeeze. For sure. I think that's why. Yeah, that's what I think happened. I mean, this right here was very unusual right here. These dojis. And then just all of a sudden, look at that, just ripped right up in pre-market. Right up. And RSI was way overextended. So really, really interesting. So doji, potential reverse trend within the next 5 minutes. So let the bears take control. But definitely keep a watch out. So kind of easy to tell where this is going to go. It's overextended. That consolidation range has lasted a little bit too long. And the new 5-minute trend started at 7:05. So that was right. Yeah, that was right here. So definitely expect for this to be a pullback to 796 and potential to go below the VWAP unless it's a short squeeze. If it's a short squeeze, which is actually kind of looking like that because look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it still keeps going. Still keeps going, man. It's just ripping right up. So, as much as I want to say I know it's a flag for sure, because if you look at it, it literally forms like a flag / wedge. But I feel as though it's going to be bearish. Just pull back along that 20 minute. But every time it tries to, it keeps going back up. They're up 50% on the day. Since market opened, it's about up about 35% to 30%. So definitely continue to watch this. Just remember, when it comes to trading, especially for new people out there, like myself, never ever go straight into trading real money. Always backtest your strategy and have at least a good consistency. Whether it's 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, I recommend at least one, maybe even 3, because the market is ever changing, and the seasons play a big role in how the market works. Like I know during the summer, small caps, or at least I've heard this from Humble Trader, I believe her name is. She said it pulls back during the summer. It's not as active, which I guess that makes sense from an institutional standpoint. I guess that could make sense. especially a lot of the bigger guys during the summer, they just want to go on vacation. So, similar to the working day, how you have lunch breaks and maybe breakfast or whatever. If you think about in New York time, it running up for an hour 30 minutes, it's about 10 to 11 usually, and lunch is about to start around then. So a lot of these bigger fish can probably want to end up just quitting throughout the day, and then generally speaking picks back up around 2, 3, 4 p.m. their time. Sometimes they'll run back up because there's a lot of buyers and sellers at that time. So, time of the day, it's so dang important. Again, reverse trend right here. You could see that. You can literally see that with the volume. As volume gets lower, you can see that getting lower. I can't really see much without my glasses. My eyes are so used to that. My glasses now. So where is the lull D? Because I actually don't even know if I see it here. Lull D, I don't know if Adam would be it. Or IMCC. So, big red candle. You gotta have that wick for something to form. So you don't want to buy back immediately when it's like this. You want to have a wick, that little wick. Because usually the selling pressure is almost immediate. So So, apologies, never be on your phone when you're trading. I'm slowly cutting that off. I used to be on my phone probably at least, let's say there's the first hour of trading, I'd be on my phone for 30 minutes. It was nuts. But now I'm just glancing at it, and honestly recording myself has helped tremendously. Because this is an incentive for me saying, hey, actually focus. I'm definitely kind of like a big tech guy. Big tech guy. I'm definitely big into tech. I've always been big into tech. I do software development on the side, so it's just based on that. I'm really big. You can tell I'm very interested in tech. So right here, again, doesn't want to go lower. Similar to right here. The lows are getting a little bit higher, so that's really bullish. But the MA is starting to, it's wanting to cross, so you got to keep that in mind. Never went lower, never went lower. A little bit of a selling pressure right there, so it could potentially get back up. Or that selling pressure could immediately keep going. Yep, immediately kept going. So now you want to watch out for the 780 mark. Okay, I need my glasses. So right now I am down. Let's see, 67. So I'm down about 247 on the day. Again, for you to test a strategy, you gotta learn to accept those losses. And this is the first big red candle, and the trend is dead now. The trend is completely dead. So, again, this thing lasted, remember what I said. Every 5 minutes, there's usually a move that's gonna happen. So look here, 7:35, opening range breakout. No one knew where it was gonna go. Look at this, it didn't go anywhere. When the market first opened, I never saw this go anywhere. So that was really weird. And then immediately after that first 5 minutes, it immediately pulled back. And that's the selling pressure that they needed to surge up. So it's ever changing. The market is ever changing. I rarely see that. I rarely see that, and immediately it gapped up. And then again, you could tell when these trends are virtually about to break through the lack of volume. Volume got larger, gradually gained over time, and the RSI did the same exact thing. So, never went higher, tried to go higher, but also tried to go lower. I don't like the range. Range is whack. Well, it looks like it potentially does want to go higher. I never like buying here unless I see a little bit of a rise in volume. This is so. Apologies, my multitasking. So, again, I really do want that $30. It's really hard right now. The only time I could potentially get that $30 is if I buy on these pullbacks, but I never like buying in this consolidation range because I don't know where it's going. I have a bad history of me not being right during these times, so just stick to what you're good at, and if that's just sticking with the crowd and the momentum, then do it. So I was originally up 80 or 110, 100. I don't think I ever hit 100, I recall. So I got greedy, and it's like, I'm gonna keep on holding. And sure enough, I got screwed over. So stick to your rules. I'll actually bring that up right now. So I do have a few rules. I do have a few things I like to keep in mind before I enter any sort of trade. And those things are so important towards any new trader, towards any trader. And that's having a checklist as well as rules. I'll glance this up real quick. So here we go. So here we go. So rule 0. Follow the rules. Always follow the rules. If you don't follow the rules, you won't make it as a day trader at all. Rule number 1, day trading is not a strategy to get rich quickly. Time and time again, people think it's a way to get rich quickly. It's not. You develop a strategy. You develop a strategy that works over time, that works with you, and that works with the ever-changing market. And you always have to change that strategy with the ever-changing market. So always, always, always follow the market. Follow the market and follow their new unique fundamentals, because if you don't, you won't make it. So day trading is not easy. It is a serious business and you should treat it as such. Exactly like how restaurants invest time and money, as well as buying employees or hiring employees, getting clothing for the employees, getting a product, getting a rental unit out for them to stay at. You know, all these different investments. That's how it is. Similar to day trading, you are investing your time, you are investing a huge amount of time for you to develop these strategies, and you really have to, again, you will end up losing money. I mean, when it comes to businesses, they end up losing money like literally within the first 1 to 5 years, or it's 1 to 2 years before they start ever making a profit. And with day traders, it's very similar. A lot of day traders, they only have 6 months to make a profit, and a lot of times it takes a year for them to make a profit, you know? And sometimes even more. It all varies from person to person. Rule number 3, do not hold positions overnight. Never, ever, 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 ever. Day trading, especially low cap stocks, is the most no thing you could do for holding overnight, because it's the most volatile thing. No one knows where it's going. I don't care what the news is, no one knows where it's going. The only time where you might potentially be able to, I still won't ever, 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 ever recommend it, because again, it's a rule. In fact, I'm not even going to mention it because you just don't do it. Alright, rule number 4. Always ask, is this stock moving because of the overall market is moving, or is it moving because of a unique fundamental catalyst? And when I say overall market, that could include, you know, a sector. It could include one of these sectors. So for example, you've got the tech sector right here. You know, is it moving because of the tech sector? What is it doing? What is it doing? You got finance over here. Is like the finance, for example, they're completely up. Tech sector, they're like 80% up, 75% up. You know, so again, that's a big thing as well. I wonder what this personal thing is. Here we go. I never really look at this, but it's super important, especially if you trade low caps, even as well as especially high caps. Those are huge, play a huge role. Great. Right here, success in day trading comes with having risk management, you know? So for example, earlier today I said, I'm willing to risk. Earlier today I said I want my maximum loss to be set at, what was it, 250 originally, and then I said 100, and I broke that, and as a result, it went past that 100 mark and I still never sold, and as a result, I got caught in the riffraff, and I kept holding, and next thing I know, I'm down 250. So when you buy in, you want to have your area where you're buying in to be set before you even enter the trade, as well as your selling point. And you can do that basically based off support and resistance, support and resistance, support and resistance. That's what you could do it off of. So always, always, always do that.
And make sure you calculate, hey, so am I willing to lose $100 to gain $200? Am I willing to lose $100 to gain $300? You know? So make sure that's a thing. Again, these are rules that you gotta have. And I haven't been following all of them, but over time, I've been following them more and more and more. And as a result, I've been seeing myself learn more and just feel more comfortable with the market, despite me still not being as profitable as I should be. I'm getting there. It's that learning curve that takes a while. All right, rule 6: your broker will buy and sell stocks for you at the exchange. Your only job as a day trader is to manage risk. You can never be a successful day trader without excellent risk management skills, even if you're the master of many effective strategies. So again, this is the rule that I broke. I had a strategy. Doesn't matter how bullish you think that strategy is. Doesn't matter how good you think that strategy is. If you do not follow that, if you do not follow rule number 6, you will not make it. You will not make it. So again, follow that rule. Don't be like me. Have a stop loss in place and accept it. Do not revenge trade. And if you're trying to do, maybe you're trying to extend this, maybe for your overall account you only want to lose $200, for example. You don't want to lose any more. Then just separate that. Do do 66, 66, 66. Do something like that. Say I only want to lose a maximum of $66 to $75, per stock or whatever, or per trade or whatever. And after that point, you gotta analyze, is it worth it? So, okay. Rule 7: never place more than 10% of your portfolio size in a single trade. I don't know if you guys saw this today. I slightly broke that rule with the 500 shares rather than 300. So I did break that rule by, instead of having 2,500, I pretty much put down about 4,000. About 3,800 to about 4,000. So I broke the rule there. Don't do that. You will not last if your account goes over 10%. And some people do 2%, I think as you're beginning, when it comes to trading, this should be lower, maybe at 2%. That's something I wish I did when I first started trading, was actually have this be lower. Instead of 10%, it should be 5%. And as you get more profitable and you have a journal that keeps consistency, over time about your strategy, then you can up this, but at the maximum, you never want to go above 10. And all of these rules came from a lot of different traders, different subreddits, from books I've read, from people on YouTube. All of these rules came from virtually experienced traders, and I'm trying to adapt to them. So this is something that should be low for me right now, but it's not. Alright, rule number 8. Retail traders only play the stock and play. High relative volume stocks have fundamental catalysts and are being traded regardless of the overall market. So for example, you got bullish news on a certain stock, and let's say that certain sector is going negative. That's a fundamental catalyst. that fundamental catalyst is kind of that. Again, it's a catalyst. It doesn't follow the sector, doesn't follow the market trend, doesn't follow the sector trend, so that's perfect. That's what you want. Rule number 9. Experienced traders are like guerrilla traders. They jump in and jump out. That's what you're supposed to do. Today, I was supposed to do that. Immediately in IO, I should have accepted that $80 gain, and I should have realized that, these spikes meant reverse trend, potentially, and I should have accepted that. I should have realized, this thing's going to go lower. There were signs. So I should have just lived to trade another day, especially with my account being barely above 25. You gotta have way better risk management skills. Because if you look, again, if you look right here, again, I traded after the trend was virtually dead. I was expecting for that pullback to happen, but I never did. And I held on right here. I held on. Could have made $80 right there. Never did. And second wick right here should have been the sign to get out. And I just said, I'm just going to hold on to it. But hey, that's what today was about. I was supposed to hold on, and I'm glad I did, because it taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson about the market. So now the reverse trend is starting to go back. Kind of cool. Again, I'm not going to focus on that. I focus on the rules, okay? Rule 10. Hollow candlesticks where the close is greater than the open indicate buying pressure. Filled candlesticks where the close is less than the open indicate selling power. So what does that mean? So let's see. So hollow candlesticks, obviously green is hollow. So hollow candlesticks where the close is greater than the open indicate buying pressure. Filled candlesticks where the close is less than the open indicate selling power. So again, when the close goes higher, so we're right here, for example, when the close is higher, right here, for example, than the open, it indicates buying pressure. Same thing with right here. So it's kind of that reverse psychology. But when the selling pressure is lower than the buying pressure, it will go down. So that's basically detecting trends. A lot of buying pressure right now. Lots of buying pressure. Lots of buying pressure. Lots of buying pressure. That is a crap ton of buying pressure. It's got 6 consecutive green candles, but it's got 6 consecutive red candles, so. Ooh, that was a big gap though. Alright, well, I'm not focusing on that. Rule 11. Indicators only indicate. They should not be allowed to dictate. So all these indicators, as great as they are not, they shouldn't be your complete judgment. If anything, you should have multiple indicators, you should have multiple different fundamentals. You should have multiple technical analysis, technical aspects that judge basically where a stock is going to go, whether that's the level 2 data, the tape. Yes, it's a tape. I for some reason couldn't figure that out, or whether it's support and resistance, etc., etc. Okay, rule 12. Profitable trading does not involve emotion. If you are an emotional trader, you will lose money. I experienced that firsthand. So, that's how it is. Alright, rule 13, always set up a stop loss when you're starting a new trade. Always, always, always. Whether that's a mental or a physical stop loss. Just, if you do a physical, just remember, if you all of a sudden get spiked down, it will come back up. Sometimes it will come back up, depending on the trend. You know, if the trend is great, then it might go back up. But if it's not, it'll shoot down and stay down. So you've got to use different technical and fundamental analysis to determine that. See, I don't like that. That's bleh. Why do I keep doing that? Okay, rule 14. If you take a trade immediately and start worrying about your trade, your position in that trade is way too big. So that kind of comes back to, I guess, almost the percentage of your portfolio. You gotta have that healthy, you know, your win-loss ratio. You gotta have that healthy mindset. And for you to have that healthy mindset, that goes into kind of rule 15. Success in day trading. I pressed the hotkey. Success in day trading comes with a healthy mindset. Getting properly dressed, exercising, meditating, keeping calm with a steady mind, and helping to stick with your enter and exit strategy is a great way to have that mental psyche there to make you realize, hey, you know, stick with your guns, stick with your, I'm going to buy here and sell here, and don't let your emotions take control. And only open trades when you are comfortable. Only open and close trades when you are comfortable. So if you're not feeling comfortable, don't do it. If you're feeling a little bit tired today, don't do it. If you're feeling over energetic, you know, don't do it. That's the same thing. If you're feeling over energetic, you could be over analyzing. Could be like super hyped up, and just that could lead to over trading. So again, you want to be in a good level-headed mindset. Alright, moving on to the checklist. The morning edition. This morning edition I made specifically for about 10 minutes into trading. I'm sorry, around 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. So not for opening the market. Requirement 1, follow the requirements. Requirement 0, follow the requirements. Requirement 1, there must be a catalyst to enter a trade, whether that is news, a social media sentiment, like Elon Musk, for example, saying, oh, Dodge to the moon, you know, whatever that is, a contract or a conference call, or earnings date. As long as it does not move with the market. Remember, day traders live off of volatility and catalysts. Okay? Requirement number 2. The volume of the day must at least have a minimum of 1 million. So this is for my personal setup, at least when it comes to low caps. And the stock must have a minimum of 5 relative volume. So relative volume is probably my favorite technical indicator, because I'll tell you, hey, you know, where is the crowd? Where is the crowd? Where is the crowd? Whether you're going long or short, that's going to be the hot stock of the day. Wherever that relative volume is, that's going to be the hot stock of at least the first hour. So do not enter a trade within the first 5 minutes of trading. Do not enter the open range breakout within the first 5 minutes of trading. So you got the open range breakout within the first 5 minutes. Then you got the open range within sometimes the first 15 minutes, and then sometimes the first 30 minutes. You know? First 5 minutes, it's always going to be the most volatile. You know, you never know where it's going to go. For example, right here, I wasn't expecting for it to reverse like this because of this one candlestick. Because of that one candlestick along with these others, these huge sell-offs that went right here, I wasn't expecting for it to, you know, go higher. Now I tried to get in right here. I tried to get in, but my order got filled a little bit too high, and I wasn't accepted. So that's how it is. Okay. So again, follow up. Requirement number 4. I have this kind of already. Plot the support and resistance points of the past 3 days, the past month, and the all-time lows and highs of the stock. Analyze the trading range. Don't forget that half and full dollar sectors are natural resistance and support points. So I am at 50 cents. That's going to be a natural resistance and support line. Let me see if I can find an example. In fact, this could be a, I don't know if this is a good example right here. Yeah, not really a good example right here. But if you fall lower than, again, to those half dollars and to those full dollars, you'll be able to see, hey, you know, it doesn't want to go lower or not. So again, you're kind of just following what other people think. You kind of want to just follow those obvious setups, right? So requirement number 5: be sure you're determined if the buyers and sellers are in control per bar of volume. How's the price action? You know, is it choppy or not? You know, pay attention to the volume. So make sure you always pay attention to that volume. During the consolidation periods, you'll have lower volume as traders are waiting on the sidelines. So there's 3 types of traders. You got the buyers, you got the sellers, and the most important, you got those on the sidelines. Those who are on the sidelines are the ones that determine where the stock is going. Those are the ones that determine where the stock is going. So requirement number 6: determine the RSI. If under 20, expect a potential breakout. If the RSI is over 80, expect a large sell-off. So that's kind of obvious. You know, you could see it right here. Shot up way too quickly right here. So as a result, yeah, you're expected to get a pullback. Let's see, I'm already tired. That's because I'm talking too much. Requirement number 7: how is the MA indicators or the crossing? What about the VWAP? Institutional traders love to trade based off the VWAP, mainly, and sometimes the MA. I've got a few trading friends that their heart and soul goes directly on the MA and the VWAP, and lately I've been really experiencing that as well. So that's a very, at least for my technique, that helps me a lot. So a lot of technical analysis. So requirement number 8: determine what strategy you'll be using for this trade, whether that's trading off the VWAP, the technical indicator, virtually any sort of technical / fundamental indicator. If you're super bullish on the news, you know, news is that fundamental catalyst where technicalities don't matter as much, but of course they do, always. They'll always matter, but that shouldn't be your main, you know, incentive. Requirement number 9: you know, what is the chart pattern showing? Is it a bull flag? Is it a panic flag? Is it showing an ABCDE pattern? You know, all those different patterns. You know, what about the candlesticks? What are they showing? So always analyze that. Requirement number 10: Now this is a big one, and this is something that I need to work on big time. You know, am I willing to risk $1 per share? So in other words, am I willing to lose $100 to gain $300? That's a big thing you have to work on, because in order, every single trader, you have to watch your money go negative for it to go positive. That's just how it works. So training your emotions to adapt to that mindset is what you're going to have to do. And when it goes below that certain amount, let's say $100, accept it, move on. Accept it, move on. Live to survive another day. I wish I could have that as a rule. You're here to live to survive another day in the market. Alright, requirement number 11. So now that you figured out the technicals, plot your entry and exit points. Remember to sell 50% of your shares after you've reached your profit, and move your stop loss slightly below your new profit mark. So unfortunately, when it comes to TOS, their little hotkey system isn't the best. In Lightspeed, which is something I want to move to in terms of a broker, their trades are much more faster paced. You can have 1 second, you can have 10 seconds, you can have 30-second charts, 1 minute charts. They're very, very quick and rapid, and plus all of this is like really, really, really live. I mean, like, it comes in like so quickly. So this doesn't, see how it's like a 1 second delay? It's partially like a 1 second delay. The FPS isn't that great. The frames per second isn't the best. It's like rapid. Like every second you'll be like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like super changing so constantly. It doesn't, the whole tape doesn't change at once. Instead, it's like a gradual thing. So Thinkorswim is kind of a little bit outdated for my taste. It's not as modern as something like Smart Street Edge. So always keep that in mind. What else? So, yeah, also follow, if you can, follow the 50% rule, because that will really help you. I've never done that before. Never, ever, ever. Because I'm kind of limited on what I could do in terms of my hockey setup. Alright, requirement number 12. Once you're in a trade, analyze the level 2 data along with the live orders, aka the tape. Have a keen eye for the large buy and sell off orders, and watch out for consolidation periods. Because usually during those consolidation periods, once you see it going below a certain point, you want to just accept that and just move on. So right here, as soon as it fell below, 806, that should be an indicator saying, oh, get out. So always follow that. Always. And be sure to check back on the 5-minute chart for trends. And requirement 13, which is probably the biggest requirement. Well, probably second biggest, maybe third. Always stick to your original exit and entry plan. Your emotions are the biggest thing that will screw this last requirement up. And see, that's what trading in the simulator is for. But eventually, after a month, maybe you're consistently profitable. Get out the simulator and trade real money. But instead of going like as much as you did in the simulator, maybe only trade 100 shares, no matter what type of stock it is, or 300 shares. Something way below that percentage amount that you usually would put on the table for your account. So always do that. So that's a big thing. You can't be successful unless you do that. So But in terms of requirements, that's all I got for that. In terms of rules, that's all I got. So, you know, always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. Because if you don't, you're not going to have a great time at all. So, always keep that in mind. So now, again, I want to try to get up that $28, but honestly, I'm here to survive another day. Technically, I wouldn't survive because I'm below the $25,000 limit, but it kind of doesn't really matter at this point because I'm looking for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now to see where this new strategy is going to go. So, so you gotta really gotta bear that in mind. So, honestly, I'm gonna quit. But yeah, I'm gonna quit. So, but yeah, I hope someone learned a thing or two, despite me losing money. You may not listen to me just based on that. So, of course, you can do that too. Just make sure you're good. So, red day again. I'm down about $240. So, you know, it is what it is. So, fortunately, I didn't follow my my total risk management as well as my total fundamental, you know, my exact plan. So, I wish I did, because if I would have, I may have gained a little bit more, or I may have not gained a little bit more, but I may have actually turned green potentially. So, but yeah, that's how it is. But hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and happy trading. Happy trading.